nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
As soon as he hit it, I thought it was going in, the second one. I told him after the game he hit them both as pure as they come. He's outdoors here. And for him to line up two of those in a row, felt like that thing had a real good chance to go through. And obviously a couple bounces later, we're able to walk off as, the winning team. But you got to give them a ton of credit. That's a tough team that's won a lot of football games.
Welcome into Purple Daily. That, of course, Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell talking about the Will Lutz double doink to end the Vikings' third victory of the season, improving to 3-1 in London yesterday. If you are watching us on YouTube, you see Judd, you see Declan, you don't see Phil.
Yeah, what the hell?
He is out taking care of a family business, and so hopefully he will be back soon. We will get his hottest Vikings take here at the top of the show. But before we get to that, want to remind you that, as always, Purple Daily brought to you by our friends at TCL. Enjoy more of what you love with a TCL television, and also by our friends at Surly. And we want to tell you right now, the Red Hot Vikings, I don't care. I don't care that it's not aesthetically pleasing. At 3-1 in a couple of weeks, October 16th to be exact, we will be hosting the first of two. This will be fantastic. Viewing parties at Surly Brew Hall. If you joined us for the draft, it's going to be very similar to that. So we will be there for the game, hanging out, watch the game together, cheer some Before I Dies or some Furiouses or Logic Bombs or whatever you like. And then post-game, we will do Declan Goff, our Ventline show, but just like the draft, we will have it set up so that if you are there, if you've made the trek and want to jump on with us, you can. I agree, this will be a great time. And if you are inclined to say, you know what, I'd really like to try that Before I Die, right? Yeah. I'd really like to try it, but geez, I live in, I don't know, Iowa, or I live on the West Coast. Perfect opportunity. Travel here, try Before I Die, come meet Mackie, Judd, and Declan, talk some Purple, and we will all have a great time. Again, October 16th, that's a noon game against the Dolphins. Our second one will be November 6th, also a noon game against the Washington Commanders.
May I recommend a Warp Zone, a taproom exclusive? Someone hit us up on Twitter and said, hey, first time at the Brew Hall, what should I get? Warp Zone. There's taproom exclusive beers at Surly.
Yes.
That you can only get in the taproom.
Yes.
Okay, so I sometimes when I go there, I like to get the exclusives. I know I can only get it there. So there's plenty of options. Before I Die, the Furious, the Warp Zone, like me. I can't wait to hang out with everyone again. It was a blast when we did it last time.
Absolutely.
Decided to do it this time around.
All right, let's get to it. Hottest Vikings take.
All right.
So we will go around the room, start with me, then Declan, and then Phil has sent one in.
He has.
I don't have any idea.
Me either.
I don't have any idea.
I don't think it's a boo and bleep button, but I'll be ready.
Okay, good. All right, hottest Vikings take. Now, I got a lot of Vikings takes.
Yes, you do.
And yesterday's game was filled with opportunities for Vikings takes. It was the second consecutive game in which they've come back in the fourth quarter, which, need I remind you, we have all been clamoring for how long? Come on, Kirk, let's go.
Right.
So the victories might not be fun to watch as far as the fact that they're too close or the fact that the games aren't that great. But the fact is, the Vikings have done their job, at least at the end, in coming back to win. But my hottest Vikings take is this.
Okay.
4 games into the season, 4 games in, at 3-1, while there are a lot of things that are probably, not probably, that can be fixed. Forget probably. They need to be fixed. All right? My hottest take is people, including me, need to calm down about this team and about how the wins look and about how the perception of, well, they're not playing well, which, by the way, at times they ain't playing well. But, when I got done with my work from that game yesterday, Dex, I sat down and watched a bunch of games for the second time this
Scotty
year.
Hansen.
Yep, Scotty Hansen, love him. The red zone's the greatest invention in sports history. But my hottest take is this. This is the league. And so, yes, it might be, you might say there's a lot more there. And there is. But that being said, you're 3-1. And as I wrote for Vikings Wire, you can find it right there. The reality is this. The Vikings have now won 2 consecutive games that they lost a lot last year. I believe they tied the NFL record. They had something like 14 one-score games. They were 6-8, and I looked it up too. If you remember, Declan, this team last year, 4 games in, was 1-3.
Yeah.
All 3 losses, 1 score.
Yep.
Overtime against the Bengals. Greg Joseph misses the kick in Arizona. Then they trounced Seattle here in their home opener. But then the 4th game was the loss here to Cleveland, which was by 1 score, which was one of, to me, the most disgusting, repulsive losses of 2021 because it was inexcusable. So my hottest take is we all, and I am including myself, at times need to calm down and say, you know what? 3-1 sure beats the hell out of 1-3 and what was a miserable experience in 2021. And just the last thing, too, is part of what I'm basing this on, too, is I don't know. I don't think, and I certainly don't know, that this team is really, like, that good. So the more I think about this, am I shocked that they're not blowing out teams? No, I'm not. You know, they ain't the Chiefs.
Right.
So, yeah, that's my take is we all need to take a step back, just a step back, and say, you know what? They're 3-1.
Yep.
It's a really good start.
Yep.
And it beats the hell out of the death march that we saw last year.
Yeah. It's you got to be thankful to be 3-1 at this point. Whether you've been gifted some calls, whether things haven't looked as pretty at times. You have a quarterback that has stepped up when you needed it to. You have a wide receiver who finally popped off yesterday. You have a rookie head coach who's learning on the job, and it certainly has been anything but flawless throughout the first 4 games, and you're still 3-1.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to apologize for these wins yet. It makes your life getting to the playoffs a lot easier. You have banked 3 wins in the first 4 games. You have a chance to go 4-2 at the bye. You have a chance to be 4-2 at the bye. If we all would have said at the beginning of the season, hey, don't worry about how the circumstances are, but you'll be 4-2 at the bye, would you take that? Every single Vikings fan say, oh my God, yes. 4-2? Yes. I will take that every time. 3-3 and under, then you start to question things a little bit. We're 500. What went wrong? Okay. You're 4-2. Got to be thankful for that if you're a Vikings fan through the first 4 games. I'm with you. Winning ugly, man. Don't settle, but winning ugly. It's fine.
And especially juxtaposed to last year.
Yep.
That's my thing. It's not like Zim stepped down and this team had been great, right? I mean, those first 4 games last year sucked. Like, you found ways, you invented ways to lose.
Yes, they did.
And you know what? The other weird thing about this league is, yes, to what you just said, you've gotten some breaks. You got a double doink.
Yep.
You got some incredibly favorable officiating calls on Sunday. But you know what? You took advantage.
Damn right.
So
nothing wrong with that.
What's yours?
All right. My hottest, strongest take. I'm kind of going to recycle a take from last Monday that I used on this show after the Vikings won their last game, and I'm going to kind of continue it and hamper on it a little bit more. I'll take 4th quarter Kirk. I will take the new 4th quarter Kirk. So 2 back-to-back 4th quarter comebacks now for Kirk Cousins. For a guy who had one of those in his first 2 years with the Minnesota Vikings, right? A guy who we've always questioned, can he deliver in the clutch? He's paid to be a top quarterback, and he's more like a 12th to 15th, mediocre, slightly above average quarterback. The last 2 games, he has daggered teams. The throw to Justin Jefferson yesterday, one of the most beautiful balls Kirk Cousins has ever thrown in his Vikings tenure. I don't know what it is about the Saints, but for whatever reason, the Vikings love to play the Saints over the last 4 to 5 years.
Did you see what that play call was, too?
It was to Thielen.
No, but the Jefferson throw.
Yeah.
It was a go route.
Yeah.
Who called last week? Who
Judd
said run?
Said go.
Because isolate him on Lattimore, and he's going to catch the ball.
Yes, and he torched up Lattimore yesterday.
To your point, that's a great point. It's a great throw. You know why? Because Kirk can make that throw.
He can make that throw.
He might not be like, oh, I don't want to make the throw. No, dude, you can.
Even in a statement within the statement, even the check down to Adam when he had Jefferson maybe in the corner of the end zone, if he throws that ball earlier to Thielen, actually, there's potentially a chance he does score. But by the time he throws it, He's at near the end of the field. Nothing's going to happen. Throw that ball earlier. Kirk has the ability to do that, and that's why I think we've always been frustrated with him over the last 5 years. He has been accurate at times. Okay, statistically, he's honestly off to one of his worst starts in the first 4 games. But guess what? I know people love to bring up this stat. QB wins. QB wins. He has helped this team win games. His stats right now, I don't really care about.
Agreed.
The Vikings team is 3-1 through the first 4 games.
Yep.
He's delivered 2 fourth quarter comebacks. I don't really think you can ask more from your quarterback that when the game is on the line and he has been able to deliver those throws. He has been inaccurate. There's been happy feet. He's had games where the line has looked good. Yes, it was probably the worst the line has looked through the first 4 games. And guess what? The Vikings still end up prevailing. So I'll take fourth quarter Kirk. I will take this version of Kirk Cousins over the 38 touchdowns, 7 picks, 112 rating, and he puts up all these great stats if the Vikings are winning with him. That's what I care about.
Yeah, I told you last week, I don't care about stats. I'm with you totally. I don't give a damn about Kirk's stats. I am so tired of hearing, well, look at the stats. Look at the statistics are unbelievable. Do you know how much of that is done in garbage time when it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
But do you know what, to your point, what he's done the last 2 games? He's delivered. Now, has he played great games? Absolutely not. Is there a ton of room for offensive growth?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think is so exciting.
Yes. And that might be the good news.
Right.
But so off your point too, I think there's 2 incredibly important things that we saw yesterday especially, but probably the Detroit game too. And it's these 2 things. It's Kevin O'Connell as not just a coach, but also the one thing that Zimmer could never be, a support system to those who are mentally not as strong as you would probably like.
Right.
Because Kirk Cousins is even keel, but he gets flustered.
And what I love, too, about Kevin O'Connell is there's frustration as a whole in the offense, and that quarterback sometimes they're settling for field goals. You can see that he's upset about that. He's upset that they have to settle. He's upset that maybe Kirk missed a throw. But it's not a bashing of Kirk. It's a supportive of, dude, you can make these throws, and we have to make them. We have to make them.
Did you see the post game that they posted as well?
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
On Vikings.com. The other thing I absolutely loved, and this is huge, and there is no question that this has a direct correlation to being able to win that game. So I believe he gave a game ball to post game Greg Joseph, okay? And if you heard O'Connell talking, O'Connell said, and I'm going to take this at face value that he indeed said it, was when Joseph missed the PAT, which was a bad miss.
Yeah.
But when Joseph missed the PAT, O'Connell went up to Joseph and said, you got 4 field goals today. You're going to get 5, and 5's going to win this game. And he was right. Can you imagine? And look, I don't know that it's fair to expect kickers to be like, a lot of them are just sort of weird dudes. And so, I think if they miss a kick lots of times, not all the time, it can definitely impact their game. But for O'Connell to go up to Joseph and basically be the anti-Mike, right? You're going to make a 5th field goal, a lot of field goals. You're going to make a 5th one, and it's going to win us the game. I love that. That is the 180 this franchise desperately was looking for. And so, is this all going to work in the long run? I have no clue. But these are steps.
Absolutely.
They might not be the steps that people want as far as where is the high-flying offense, but they are steps.
All right. Let's hear from Macadac in, I believe, Surprise, Arizona. He's got a surprise take for us, pun intended. See what he has to say.
Hey, what's up, guys? Mackie down here in somewhat sunny Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not going to be on the show a whole lot the next couple days. I'm down here just helping my dad who's got some health issues, but I did want to drop in with my hottest, strongest Vikings take off that win in London. So I have grown so sick and tired of the scripted win that we're sort of used to by the Vikings over the past couple seasons, maybe even over the past four plus seasons, where they come out hot with a scripted drive and they get up 7-0, and then all of a sudden they get a little bit of resistance from the opposing team, some pushback, some adversity happens, and then the scripted plays run out, and now the game turns into kind of a mess, and they wind up losing in the end to some team that comes back from behind or whatever it is. I think the thing I love the most about that game in London, and this is my hottest, strongest Vikings take, is that it was the perfect victory for me. And last week against the Lions. These types of wins should be celebrated. The NFL is full of adversity and murkiness and deficits, pressure, turnovers, dropped passes. You know, all these people, what are they supposed to do? How are you supposed to overcome drop passes? How are you supposed to overcome penalties? How are you supposed to? The best teams in the NFL overcome crap on a weekly basis. How many games are just perfectly scripted? Your offense scores 38 points unabated, and your defense gets a ton of pressure and holds the opponent to 13 or 14 points, and you win a blowout game. That doesn't happen. The Bills fell behind by like 17 points, had to dig their way back, go win a game. So I thought the game against the Lions and I thought the game against the Saints were perfect for what we're looking for this Vikings team to do going forward. Win the game anyways. Win the game anyways. Things are going to happen in the NFL. Overcome those things and win the game anyways. See you guys.
And that gets back to your point about Kirk.
Yep.
Stats aren't great. Game's not great. And you won. So, yeah. And how can I put this? Because it's important to
Glasses are off.
Yeah. Well, it's important to make it clear. I am not like condoning not playing well. Like, I'm not trying to say, well, I'm glad they aren't playing well. And I don't think Phil is either. But what I am trying to say is for where we are in O'Connell's tenure, I think it's important that, to Phil's point, that you have a mentality of we can win, and here's how. In a year, if the offense looks like this 4 or 5 games in, I might be like, because like it is hard. It is hard to watch at times.
Yep.
And it's frustrating because you see glimpses of what O'Connell wants, and it's like, whoa, that works. And then you see drives where it's just sort of typical, oh boy, that didn't look good, right? So I'm not trying to condone the fact that the Vikings on both sides of the football, not special teams, which has been great, but on offense and defense, definitely could be playing better. But I like what Phil is saying because, yes, I mean, if you watched the Packers-Patriots, that game was nothing but flawed.
Bailey Zapp almost beat Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really well put because that's what the game is.
Yeah.
And the Packers didn't play well, and they still won. They still found a way. So I think when you put 2021 first 4 games against 2022, the difference is this. The question is this, can you find a way to win?
Yep.
And the Vikings in the last 2 weeks in ugly, flawed games against teams that are flawed. And that also gets back to the point of this. It's not like I watch the Vikings against the Lions or Saints and think they are a substantially better team. They've got some really good players, the Vikings do. But, I think we think, well, Jameis is out, who, by the way, I don't like that much. Jameis Winston is out, and Michael Thomas is out, right? And the Saints are missing a guard, and I mean they should be mincemeat against the Vikings. I mean, are the Vikings really that good? Like, is this defense? If this defense fires on all cylinders with the current personnel, Declan, is it really that good? I think it's okay. I don't know. It's great. So like, I think we also need to come down off our high horse about, well, this Vikings team should be kicking ass. I don't know that they're in a position to say that.
No, they're not. All right, Judd, we're going to get to a pie chart of blame here, or a pie chart of praise, a pie chart of praise,
See,
Chef Judd.
You're just like the rest of them.
I'm just like
you're
every
just
other
like
Vikings
the rest
fan.
of them. You're pissed. They won a game. They're 3-1, and you're pissed off.
You have you have your own pie chart, but when you plugged in that oven, Judd, or maybe you turned on that oven, maybe you noticed a faulty electrical wire, or maybe a faulty line, and the last thing Judd Zolgad's going to do is grab a tool to try to fix it.
God, go.
No.
The first thing I do, first of all, if it's the stove, I back away.
Yep.
Like,
good call.
I'm backing away right now.
I agree.
I back away. The next thing I do is I pick up my handy-dandy phone. To fix something? Hell no. To make one phone call. And that, of course, would be to my friend my friends, I should say, plural, at Finch Home Solutions. Now, Cody is a huge Vikes fan. So today, he is on a high. But you know what makes him, for him, what's a real win? A real win is to come to your business or your house and fix your electrical problems, because as Dex just said, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, DIY is fine if you're going to hammer a board or something, right? DIY is fine. But when it comes to taking care of everything from faulty outlets to flickering lights to installing or repairing electrical panels, you need Cody Finch and my friends at Finch Home Solutions, who are offering right now a free home safety inspection to all PD fans. So all fans of this show, if you have anything, fire alarm, a light problem, whatever, you can call Finch 612-357-2604, 612-357-2604, or go to finchhomesolutions.com, finchhomesolutions.com. Let Cody and his team be the answer to your problems. Don't do it yourself.
By the way, shout out to our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Old Dex Tweets had a great week. All right, I won 3 picks. I am back. I'm on a little bit of a heater.
Nice.
I'm finally back after a little bit of a rough go of it. Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. And I got to show a slip. From Josh here on the YouTube channel. He sent it to me last night. He put it on the table again. I'm not going to have Macadac crap on this here because he's not here.
Yeah.
A $600 slip payout for our guy Josh here. He had 5 things hit in the Chargers game, in the Texans game for all things. A $50 pick, $600 payout for our guy Josh from our friends at Underdog Fantasy.
Who would crap on this?
Phil did. Results not varied. Blah blah blah. No.
Oh, well, he was just warning people.
No.
Yeah, he's just warning people. You know what Josh did not do? I don't think, which I love. Didn't take out the insurance.
No, he didn't. He did not, and that's fine.
Josh just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going for it today.
Results may not be varied, but fun is guaranteed on Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah,
a nice
true.
sweat. Enjoy Underdog Fantasy. If you want to join, it's in the link in the comments. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com and join in on the fun. Promo code SCORE, SKOR at Underdog Fantasy. All right, Judd Zolgad.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear the chef Zolgad get up into his pie chart. I'm excited to hear this. What do you got?
I'm going back to a little bit more of a traditional Zolgadian pie chart of praise here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces.
6.
Yeah, so I'm splitting it up a little bit more like I used to.
Oh, okay.
I think the first one I did, I had like 3 or 4, but I'm going back to more.
Okay.
And this time I am going to start with the least and work my way up to who gets the biggest slice of pie.
Now on Mackie and Judd,
You wanted better charts that you could see the fine print on.
the pie chart of praise.
You should be singing his praises.
All right. At the bottom of the chart, 5%, which is probably not enough, but I worked very hard to divvy this up correctly.
Very hard, okay?
I worked very hard. It took a lot of time. Painstaking. I took a lot of time. At the bottom of the chart, 5% goes to referee Cleet Blakeman and his crew.
Yeah.
I'm praising them because if you're a Vikings fan, again, I don't want to hear, the officials are all Packer fans. That's clear. First of all, they screwed the Packers at one point pretty badly in Sunday's game. Second of all, the illegal use of hands call on Tyrone Matthew, which came on a 3rd down play in the 4th quarter, which was an incomplete pass. So that drive ends ordinarily. The Saints were up 22-19 at the time. That was a terrible call.
Horrible.
The PI on Thielen in the end zone is questionable, not because he wasn't interfered with, but because he grabbed the defender's face mask. That could have been an offsetting penalty in a second. But I'll debate that. One. This one I won't debate. This one was an awful call. Matthew basically, I believe it was Jefferson, hit him legally in the shoulder pads. And the referee threw a flag and said he had hit him in the face mask. The Vikings got a touchdown, a go-ahead touchdown from that drive, Declan Goff. 5% goes to a referee crew that in London gave the Vikings some home cooking. No more complaints for at least a month. Vikings fans, if they get screwed now, it's karma coming back.
I can't stand in any sport when fans are just absolutely apoplectic that the refs are working against them. And look, I know Mark Sanchez, and I was not a fan of that broadcast, and I'm going to save that take for Mackie and Judd. We're thinking that they were more clamoring for to be Saints fans and all this stuff. The refs gifted you multiple calls yesterday. multiple calls. So take it where you can.
10 penalties against the Saints. I think 5 against the Vikings.
Yeah, karma might come back, but for right now, take it. You're 3-1. The penalties worked out. Nothing wrong with it.
Yes. All right, that's 5%.
5%. Next piece.
10% goes to a guy who is now 3-1 in his first year as the Vikings coach. His team is definitely flawed. His team is no question flawed, and the offense is nowhere near working like I'm sure he wants. But 10%, Kevin O'Connell for keeping things calm.
This is important.
Like these last 2 games, I really think, and I know the Vikings came back against the Lions late last year here to win, okay? Mm-hmm. But this team was 1-3, as we talked about, 4 games into 2021, and had lost all 3 games by 1 score. And I really think last year, the Vikings lose at the same juncture of the season, both of these past 2 games. Mm-hmm. I really do. And they sort of did. So 10%, just for the guy who calms things down, who doesn't, Greg Joseph, you missed a PAT. We're going to go for it on 4th down now, or we're not going to trust you. Okay. Kept things calm. That's very important. That's a huge part of being a head coach, not a assistant coach, not a coordinator. Kevin O'Connell, 10%.
All right.
10% goes to the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Didn't have a great day, but you know what? When it mattered most, Kevin O'Connell came up with a play, a go route. How about that for Justin Jefferson? That 39-yard completion swung that game. It swung it back. That was a huge play. And that's the type of play that a year ago might not get called. And if it does get called, I feel like it's not completed at that juncture. Yeah. Like it's completed in the second quarter.
I see what you're saying, yep.
Right?
Yep.
So 10% goes to Kirk for what you were talking about, which is I don't care about stats. Win the game. When people are like, well, yeah, quarterback wins, you know what? That is part of a quarterback win right there. That throw.
Damn right.
Your day might be crappy. I don't care. You made a throw when it mattered. 20% goes to, I'm going to split this piece of pie. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, come on down.
As one.
Okay. Combined for 18 catches, 219 yards. Mm-hmm. Jefferson was great, but this is, so week 1, it was basically the JJ show.
Yep.
Week 2, Philadelphia, it fell apart. Like it just fell apart. Week 3, originally it was going to be the Jefferson show. The Lions did a good job against him, and then it got murky, and Thielen then was incorporated way more. And yesterday, I feel like it really worked. Like, I feel like yesterday, you'd probably like to, if possible, but there's only one football, get Osborne a little bit more involved, Dex. But I feel like yesterday, again, combined, 18 catches, 219 yards. Jefferson had a rushing touchdown. But with those two, what we saw against the Saints in week 4, I think is how it's supposed to start to look.
Yeah, absolutely. 20%. Okay. Love this pie chart.
All right. 2 more slices left, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go in places the pie chart has never gone before. I'm going to go in a direction with positions and with players that the pie chart has never gone before.
Oh boy!
The back-to-back is going to be what gets you.
Oh boy!
But I think you're going to celebrate it when I'm done.
Okay.
25%. Greg Joseph. The missed extra point actually makes me give him more because he made 5 field goals. Your red zone offense was not good. It was 2 of 5. And Greg Joseph, 5 field goals, okay? Including one after a huge missed PAT. When there's no question. I mean, this is where Zim would freak out. O'Connell said, you're going to make a 5th one, and it's going to win us the game. And, 25% might seem to be a lot for that position, but think about how much we would be crapping on Greg Joseph today if he missed the 5th one. Well, he made 4, but he didn't make the 5th one when it mattered.
I like this.
I'm giving him 25%, and I'm not backing off that because this is a position, rightfully so, that we have crapped on. Drives us crazy.
Yep.
Head coach, the former head coach, hated the position. We don't, how many Vikings fans with their Kahlua and coffee, or better yet, Surly, were watching that 5th kick and saying, he's going to miss the damn thing. He's going to. Instead, you get the Will Lutz double doink.
I thought it was in. I'm with Kevin O'Connell. I thought it was in. I thought the double doink was in.
And Joseph makes his.
I wasn't going to get my hit on Underdog Fantasy if that kick goes in. Dalton would have been. Then I'm really more upset. We're delaying
yards.
vent line, so it's a whole thing.
61 yards. But anyway, Greg Joseph, 25%. Come on down.
Okay.
And then 30% is going to go to. I'm going to start with this. Biggest chunk of pie. Sixth and final chunk.
Okay.
Special teams coordinator Matt Daniels and his entire crew.
Wow.
Which includes Joseph.
What's the percent of this pie?
30%.
30%.
The special teams was huge yesterday.
Matt Daniels.
The special teams, and I'm telling you, from the first
Come on
time
down.
I saw in the spring at an OTA, Matt Daniels do a post-practice press conference, this guy is head coaching material.
Yeah, he is.
He's young, he's enthusiastic, but yet he has a presence.
Yes.
He has a very important presence. He's not faking it. Some people have this. In my opinion, it's a God-given gift. Some people have presence, and most of us don't. And that's fine, too.
Yep.
But Matt Daniels has the it factor. And, Dex, think about how long, the last, 2-3 years? So since Prefer wasn't bad, he might...
bad
he
guy,
might
maybe.
not
Yeah.
have been a good guy, but not a bad coach. But since Prefer left, think
Yeah.
about the special team struggles, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Chris Boyd screwed up. KJ Osborne dropped a punt. And all of the things. I mean, 2 years ago, I think the Vikings on punt return yardage
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
had like 12.
Yeah.
15 games in, they had like 12 return yards. Chris Boyd, who I'm not a fan of, and by the way, who went on Twitter to rip fans last night because he's upset that fans were not pleased with how the win looked. But he recovered a fumble. I think he might have forced it too. But a punt. I think that was the first time that the Saints, who were just filled with mistakes on Sunday, lost the ball. Chris Boyd, recovery. Ryan Wright, the punter. Vikings 3 and out.
Oh, the
Vikings
fake punt.
3 and out. And we're like, oh boy, that was a bad drive. And O'Connell's like, looks pissed off.
Right.
Ryan Wright, former high school QB, throws for a first down. Jalen Rieger, early on, 23-yard punt return. Kane Wongwu,
You had a nice one.
33-yard kick return.
Saw that. Yep.
Special teams, Matt Daniels, congratulations, 30%.
Wow.
You made, this is a first. This is a first. I don't think we've ever had special teams top the pie chart of praise.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
But you know what? They were the offense I thought scuffled big time. The defense, I don't even know, Dex, if the defense has an identity yet. It feels like they
Yeah, it's
don't.
weird. It's a little
It
murky.
feels like they don't. Yes.
A little murky.
Murky's a very good word. But special teams, they have an identity. And they were, of the 3 units it takes to win a football game on Sunday, they were, I think, by far and away, the best. So,
Wow.
30% special teams coordinator, and as far as I'm concerned, future National Football League head coach Matt Daniels. 25%, Greg Joseph with 5 field goals made. 20%, Jefferson and Thielen split it. 10% to Cousins, 10% to KOC, and 5%, thank you very much to referee Cleet Blakeman and his crew. You were outstanding if you're a Vikings fan as far as you're concerned. So that is my pie chart.
Okay. I love it. Pie chart of praise there from Judd Zolgad, Chef Judd, giving some love to the special teams. You like your weird pies as it is, so I'm not surprised that you throw in the special teams the biggest chunk. I don't believe so. I think this is very, very ideal. You know, I liked, and I have a statement, I think, on Zadarius Smith that I'll say for Mackie and Judd. I thought he had another solid game after being questionable all week. I love the go-to-sleep celebration.
24 snaps, though, so he was hurt.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was used strategically well. Big fan of that.
Agreed.
No, I think this is a pretty well-constructed pie chart from you. So very, very good work. Very good work.
Thank you.
Before we get to nitpicks, Judd, you were nitpicking with your weight.
No,
for the last few years.
I was burly.
And usually we do silver linings after a loss. We do nitpicks after a win. Why don't you tell everyone about your favorite weight loss?
That would be my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, down 40 pounds. And most importantly, keeping that weight off thanks to my friends. And right now, get this, folks, you'll receive 8 weeks for free. If you sign up right now, I'm down 40 Dawn's lost about, I think, 18 now. Chris
All right,
Ron,
wow.
our friend here in sales.
Is Stella next?
He's down 10 plus pounds. And yes, Stella, well, no, she's a small dog. She doesn't need to. But if you need to lose weight, if you are trying to get those clothes to fit that are in your closet and you're like, you know what, someday is today. And again, 8 weeks for free. The new Flex program, it lets you enjoy the foods you love. That includes fruit, pasta, and even bread. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livea.com, Livea.com, 855-GO-LIVEA. Inside the state or out, they can help you drop the weight. And again, it's weight control. It's not a diet. It's not a fad. It is sustainable for life. Again, get into all those clothes again, Livea.com.
All right, Joe, let's get into some Vikings and nitpicks here, even though they are 3-1, and this does not negate all the great we just talked about in the first 20 minutes and on our hottest take that we should be thankful, but there are things obviously still to poke holes through.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you one to start here. My first nitpick was, I know the game wasn't pretty. I know sometimes you're going to get adversity. I know Bailey Zapp even almost beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers yesterday. Yep. But for the love of God, can the Vikings just smash a backup quarterback in the face? Can they just ground a QB who is a notorious now backup? You know, Andy Dalton started the years for Cincinnati. He's going to be a nice backup bouncing around here for probably the next 4 or 5 years, and that's fine. But for the love of God, can you just go into a neutral site and just smash the crap out of what is not a very good quarterback and allowing him to throw seam routes down the middle of the field in the last 2 minutes to possibly set up a game-winning or game-tying field goal? I just wanted the Vikings, knowing all week that most likely Andy Dalton was going to play with Jameis Winston. I don't know how he's standing up with like fractured vertebrae in his back. But can you just go out there and smash a backup quarterback in the face? Why is that so difficult to do? Why is Andy Dalton almost daggering you at the end of the game? Please just go out there and just smash the backup quarterback in the face. That's what I want. That's my first nitpick.
So are you talking about beating him soundly or actually getting pressure?
Well, I guess all of both, but making him not have a good day, making his day difficult. I don't understand why Andy Dalton at the end of the day looked like he was almost able to beat the Vikings. I find that atrocious. I need Andy Dalton to be on the ground.
Well, first of all, I don't know your defense is that good. Like, because I agree with your sentiment, but I don't know that your defense, like we're not seeing a defense that looks dominant. I don't think ever. Like there's not. The offense, you see glimpses, right? You see definite glimpses, and it's like, whoa, okay, if that works more, that's going to be real good. The defense, I don't know if it's the personnel is not right. I don't know exactly what, if it's just taking time. But one, I guess I'm not surprised they didn't smash him because I don't know that this defense is capable right now of smashing anyone. The other thing is, keep in mind, Andy Dalton, so I see backup QBs in different lights. Andy Dalton can still be a savvy veteran QB. He started for a long time. Now, if we're talking about a backup who doesn't play, but I mean, to what you said, the Patriots brought in a third-string slappy. We had no idea who he was, and the damn guy almost won.
Yeah.
So, like, I get the frustration. But I think some of it goes back to this is what the league reflects. And the other thing is, and I mean, this is a nitpick too, I guess, so I could throw this one out first. This defense, the Vikings defense just might not be very good.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
I don't, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be a disaster. But this is why 3-1 too. So the positive side is you've played 4 games, won 3. And you probably lost the game that you should have lost. Now, I didn't like the fact that you essentially got drilled, but I believe when at least Phil and I ran through the schedule before the season started, we all said, or the two of us said, if I'm not mistaken, 3-1.
Yep.
And this Vikings team, I still have no clue. This team right now, I have no clue if they're good. I think that they belong in the middle of that pack where most teams that are going to be competitive reside.
Yeah.
But the nitpick is this, dude. This defense, I got no clue. I am not seeing anything. And it happened again on Sunday too, and he played a ton of snaps. And I understand he's doing his job probably. And he had a great tackle of Dalton on the attempt that Dalton made to get into the end zone. But Danielle Hunter's name, I almost never hear.
Yeah, man, it's strange.
And that doesn't mean he's grading out poorly, but I mean, Danielle Hunter, previous to his injury problems, and that could be playing a huge role here, was a difference maker whose name you heard constantly. And you're not now. So my nitpick would be, and it might go from, in fairness, nitpick to concern. The reality is this defense just might be very meh, and that's about it.
Yeah. I'll give you another nitpick here as we're on Purple Daily. The red zone on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
A little bit of a concern here. So the Vikings offense in terms of red zone scoring percentage. So how many times do you go into the red zone and score a touchdown too, by the way? So your red zone scoring percentage for touchdowns. Right now, the Vikings are getting into scoring touchdowns in the red zone at a 46% rate. That is 26th in the NFL.
Yep.
Behind teams like the Giants, the Bears, Houston has a better red zone percentage. So you have to get touchdowns. Yes, the pie chart is well deserved of special teams. They made their kicks. This is not a nitpick of the pie chart of the special teams.
No, I hear you.
But get in the red zone, you got to get 6. You absolutely have to get 6. And conversely, the Vikings defense, opponents are scoring in the red zone 72% of them. That is also 26th in the NFL. So both sides. Can you be situationally good on, I know the Vikings defense might not be that great. Can you be situationally good? Can you be good maybe on third downs? Can you maybe be good in the red zone? Those are areas where maybe you can make up for getting gashed by yards if you can make key stops.
Things that you work on in practice. Specialty categories, right?
Yeah.
So you might not be great at everything, but if you can do third down, red zone, guess what? You're going to win games. Right now, 4 games in, I would say that when it comes to the offense, work in progress, frustrating at times, but I think there is way more there. I think that they are, and is Kirk the guy? I have no idea. But I think what O'Connell wants, you look at it when it works and say, okay, I totally get that.
Right.
Defense, I'm growing just more concerned. I'm not looking at the defense and saying there is way more there. I'm looking at a group of guys that aren't young. There are certain things do they get gouged for points consistently? No, that's good. But do I think that there is another gear here? Offensively, I think there's probably 2 gears, 3 gears. Defensively, Dex, I'm not positive.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
No, that's where you're kind of sealing what the ceiling of the Vikings defense. You know what I'm saying? Like the projection of it. Outside of them getting more pressure and Danielle Hunter maybe waking up and being more the mauler that he is, and he's still been an above average player per PFF and whatnot.
Yes.
But if he takes the next step and Zadarius Smith isn't playing just 25 snaps a game, yeah, there's something there. But I don't see, you can't make that Vikings pass defense, their cornerbacks and their safeties. They're not going to flip a switch and all of a sudden shut down other teams and look like the 2017 Vikings defense. Right. That's just not humanly possible.
Right.
So can you find ways to be better in situations? Can you find ways to be better in pass rushing? It's kind of a bummer. Obviously, that Lewis Cine is obviously out for the season now with that gruesome leg injury.
That's a problem.
And then that might be even lingering into next season. Yeah. So yes, you can't fix those type of things, but can you be good in situations? Can you force turnovers, which are hard to be projecting, but can you be situationally good?
All right, I got another one.
Okay, hit me.
Well, transition first with the sounder.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Sorry.
I got a call for sounders. I got a call for sounders.
I might make a write that down prediction next week on your call for sounders.
You didn't play the sounder. I was reminding you for the consistency of this show, which our listeners and viewers desire, okay?
Okay.
So that was not high maintenance Judd right there.
Okay.
That was the button bar stripped from me.
Yeah.
Stripped from me.
Yeah.
Like a coach who's been stripped of his duties.
Probably good.
Okay. My next nitpick is this. I'm going to go into the bag of head coach Kevin O'Connell and pick this one out. What was up with the game management of the clock at the end of the first half on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, okay. So let's run through this. And I don't think he was asked. I watched his entire presser. He wasn't asked about this. But the Vikings had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, all 3 timeouts left at this point, okay? And there was a pass from Kirk to Irv Smith inbounds that got to the Saints 18 with some time left. O'Connell let it run down to 3 seconds. So clearly he wanted to kick the field goal. And I guess my question is this. Dude, you're an offensive guy. Like, are you looking at this? And he would never tell you this. But is he, and he's not dumb. Is he watching that clock wind down and thinking, I'll take the points because I don't want to put the ball in Kirk's hands and have something go wrong here? Like it's not just, that was a moronic move and he's dumb.
Yeah.
He's got a guy who's in his ear. He basically said, we're going to get the field goal and that's it. And I'd love to know from an offensive-minded coach who, on the record, would trust Kirk with his firstborn.
Yeah.
I would like to know the game theory because the reality is possibly I don't trust him enough.
I'm going to make a weird comparison, and I actually wish Phil was here because it's an airport comparison, and I'm sure actually we'll get an airport story from Phil knowing on this week on Mackie and Judd or Purple Daily.
Bounce it off me, man. I've been in plenty of airports.
When you're going through the security lane, and at least I try to do this, I try to be well prepared when I go in that security lane of like putting things in my pocket. So I'm not like putting a bunch of different things in bins because nothing irritates me more than an idiot in the security line at TSA in an airport.
Not prepared.
So I try to be more prepared. But then sometimes when it's crunch time and it is time to take off your stuff, you maybe forgot your shoes or you forgot your hat or there's a thing, so you're well prepared to know this night. Back to football. The clock is running down. The clock is running down. I have timeouts, but also there's a play on the field and we're trying to figure out this. And now all of a sudden you're forgetting about all the things you're prepared for because it's chaotic, because it's just simply chaotic. But I agree with you that he needs to be better in those situations.
I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I think he was prepared. The more I thought about this, I think he was prepared because that was a pretty standard situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a reason why he didn't do it.
Yeah, it's strange. It's very, very strange.
I think I'm just saying, at first I thought, idiot. And then I thought, he's not.
Right.
And he's got a game management guy, which by the way, I love. I think he thought I'll take the points. And I would love, and you will never get this, I would love an honest, you know what, you're right. I took the points.
I'd love to get a surly with Kevin O'Connell. Just talk about this kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
That'd be great. What do you think? He doesn't seem
Poor
like
guy.
what kind of beer do you think Kevin O'Connell likes?
I don't know. He's really
doesn't have a
thin.
tell.
He's really thin. I don't think he's a beer guy. I
Maybe
don't
a
think he's
Mexi?
a beer guy. Yeah. I think
Like
he's and I could also see wine.
Let's see, wine, vodka, soda,
Yeah.
whiskey, ginger.
Something that doesn't have a high calorie count.
Okay.
But I mean, I could see wine with dinner, a
Yeah.
glass of wine.
Yeah.
But I bet he doesn't drink
think.
beer. And if he drinks beer, I don't think he drinks fun beer.
So a light beer. That's like
Or
commercially
like
known.
or like a commercially 94 calorie beer.
Oh yeah, a Mick Ultra guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think he is that guy. I think he's but yes. But if you drink beer,
Make it a surly.
make it a surly, damn it.
No, damn right.
What's your next one?
I don't have many more left. I think my one last nitpick for me here on Purple Daily would be let's get some more explosive run plays. So Dalvin Cook and I want to talk about this on Mackie and Judd too.
You're going where I was going to go.
They're doing a great job at feeding Dalvin, and Dalvin ends up playing most of all the snaps yesterday, and he's been fine. Like if you look at his yards per carry, he's been okay. He's been solid, but there hasn't been that big explosive run play. And it's kind of confusing to me.
He's not coming close to earning his salary.
Oh no, he
has been fine. Fine is a great word, but I can find fine. I can find
fine.
I can go downtown right now and find a guy who's fine.
Oh yeah.
I love that. You are exactly right. Oh, last one, just quickly. Johnny Munt, catch the damn ball.
Seriously,
Judd
dude.
Zolgad has put more faith in you than anyone in this town. And until yesterday, I looked genius.
You did.
Like you guys were like, Johnny Munt. And I'm like, no, you guys, he fits in. He knows this. Ball went through his hands. It wasn't even a drop.
Woof. Come on, man. Catch the damn ball. I have a statement on other Vikings
All
side
right.
that I get from Mackey.
We're done.
A little tease. This is Purple Daily. By the way, I'll be a Phil Mackey here. Purple Daily sponsored by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated's corporate culture is grounded in equity, integrity, teamwork, and respect. And these 4 cornerstones create the foundation that support all interactions and decision-making. Find out more at federatedmutualinsurancecompany.com. Go to federatedinsurance.com to find out the industries they protect. Bonus statements on the Mackey and Judd and Score North YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Daily Minnesota Vikings entertainment. We got realistic Randy rants dropping on this YouTube channel later this afternoon. This evening, before we die, Jesse Pierce, Thor Nystrom, Ross Brendel. It is a Victory Monday. Victory Monday, baby. Hit the subscribe button. This has been Purple Daily.